Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
All right, and we are live here at Bourbon Street in Chicago. It is your boy, BC Braddock, along with my boy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. What's going on, Ryan? How are we doing tonight?
It's great here. I feel like kind of wearing like some sort of like weird courthouse house going to
Yeah.
I don't know if we need some like scented oils or something like that. Or we're in a weird strip club or where we are. But it's great to be here to talk sports.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to talk about a 3-13 football team?
Yeah, look, I mean, right now the Chicago Bears are about as abysmal as our attempt to set all this up was before the show. Right? I mean, we had things going all over the place. We couldn't find a table. We were looking for power cords. We got set up in the back so everybody could see people in the back, but everybody decided to spread out away from the damn Bears. So now it looks like there's nobody here, when in reality, there's probably about 20 or 30 people here right now listening to us on Man Hour in Chicago. So, look, the Bears have become one of those teams where we're actually rooting for them to lose on Sunday, right? I know I am.
Yeah, well, yes, for sure. I mean, we're rooting for them. It's not like the Texans are going to win. It's the second pick in the draft. That's what we're getting. I'm rooting for them to lose. It's going to be a Bear game. It's going to be Nathan Peterman basically, kind of walking it up. But he'll have a first good drive. He'll script the play. He'll do okay for a little while, hopefully. And then basically what's going to happen is they're going to lose the game.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario at all in which the Bears come out and beat the Vikings unless the Vikings decide that they're going to forfeit. And if we didn't have a forfeit on Monday Night Football, we're not going to have a forfeit on Sunday. So the Bears are going to lose this game. And speaking of Monday Night Football, shout out over there to Mr. Harriman, who's just, I mean, he's just, that what happened on Monday night was really, really bad. And what we witnessed was tough, but what we also witnessed was also, we didn't know at the time, was very good because the doctors actually said that the NFL and the way they set that up and the way that the first responders got there actually saved his life. So the NFL actually should take pride in that. And the doctors, the surgeons actually said if they don't get there in time, he dies on the field. And the NFL should use this as a training video of how to.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't believe they got out there that fast. We talk about some of the physiology here. I'm obviously not a doctor. But I can play one on TV at the price is right.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen when that happened. I couldn't believe it. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in sports. I think a lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
I think some people said how they're going to do this game. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any ideas on what do you think they should do with this game? Because I was wrong for this game.
First time here.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I want to see. What I want to see is I want to see the Bears lose this game. I want to see Houston beat Indianapolis. I want to see Denver win. And I want to see the Bears with the number 1 pick. Because if you have a chance at the number 1 pick, that tells you that the Bears might actually change their game.
Yeah, I mean, if you trade down, there's been so many seasons that I looked at. I was looking at this just there's been so many seasons where they ended 6-10, or 7-9, or 5-11 was actually like they went 3 seasons seasons at 5-11 like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where they got the 7th, 8th pick, the 6th pick, maybe even the 5th pick or 4th pick or the 3rd pick, and they trade up for Mitch Trubisky. This is going to be the year where they have the 2nd or 1st pick. I mean, they're definitely going to have that, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
To have this pick, I think it's going to be a valuable pick. I think they're going to trade down. I saw a mock draft today where they had Quentin Jackson at the 11th pick. They could trade down the 11th pick, get Quentin Jackson, and get a bunch of draft capital for it. I mean, what else are we talking about?
Look, if you're trading, are you still trading the pick at number 1?
I'm still trading.
You're still trading.
I mean, I don't see why. They need players with so many holes on this team, and they're at prime positions. Three technique tackles, edge rusher. They need a left tackle. These are premium positions that we've argued about day after day. And I'm straight at you if I could go through it, but I'll do it now. That these are not guys who get in free agency. These are not guys who. These guys would have to get in the draft.
Yeah, like Quentin Johnson. The guys that you get in the draft that you can't get in free agency. You're not getting a number 1 wide receiver in free agency. What you can get in free agency is a top-end offensive lineman. What you can get is a top-end defensive lineman. What you can get is a safety and a cornerback and all those other needs that you can't get in free agency because we know those guys are going to be free agents. What we know who's not going to be free agents is a 6'6", 215 wide receiver with good hands and breakaway speed.
Yeah, that's a lot of ifs. Like we said last week, there's like 100 ifs you had. But yeah, if they get a defensive tackle, if they get an edge rusher, if they get a left tackle, to get that many guys in free agency, I just don't think it's possible.
But that's where you look at the Bears, and you have to start looking at what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to build around your franchise quarterback? Are you trying to give him the weapons that he so deserves and so clearly needs? Every week on the football field, we watch this guy have to break, 7 or 8 tackles on the way to the end zone. He has to break containment. He has to get out of the freaking pocket 2 seconds into the pocket for me. So you've got to get this guy some help. And the way you get him help is the number 1 wide receiver. Now, look. Maybe in free agency, maybe they address wide receiver. There's all sorts of rumors about DeAndre Hopkins going to be on the trade block. You've got Jerry Jeudy might be on the trade block. You've got,
You think Cole Devontae comes off the trade block like the Raiders said he wouldn't be on the trade block?
Well, they're going to let him pick the quarterback apparently. That's the rumor. He's going to have to say in the quarterback of Vegas, which means Aaron Rodgers is going to Vegas.
We really have come to the peak of the powers of wide receivers in the NFL. Like, I never thought we'd be here. Their 2nd-round picks easily traded for wide receivers, even 1st-round picks. I mean, for Tyreek Hill it was.
Yeah. And we got some comments coming on in the chat right now. I see Drew in the chat. He wants to know if we want the Bears to take this game. Fuck yes, I want the Bears to take this game.
I don't think there's any player playing in football, especially what happened on Monday, and what happened even to Tevin Jenkins a couple of weeks ago, which was scary. I don't think there's anybody that's in football that's going to want to tank on the field. But through play calling, through having Nathan Peterman as your quarterback, I think I've thrown more passes in the NFL.
Through Justin Fields getting too hurt to play in Week 18. That's another thing. Do you think that this is a real injury? I mean, he's seen week after week over the last 3 weeks probably, in between possessions, he's on the sideline, and he's getting massage going on.
How many times, I mean, we're both obsessed baseball. How many times do you see this in baseball, where a pitcher's not doing well, they sit him for 10 days. Well, it's 10 days now. They sit him for 10, 15 days. They say he's injured. You can find anything in a pitcher's arm. There's floating bones. There's torn, partially torn rotator, whatever it is. You can find an injury in any NFL player and give him a day off if you need to on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's
the same in the NFL as it is for pitchers in baseball. You can find an injury for a guy. This is a game to get us into the playoffs or win the division. He's playing.
Right. And look,
As I grab my head,
if you're right, if we're playing a meaningful game, Justin Fields is out there. But in reality, we are playing a meaningful game, but it's a meaningful game for the number 1 overall draft pick, so he is on the bench.
That's when you start Nathan Field, who's going to be, in the long tradition, bad Bears quarterback. Shane Matthews.
It's true.
I mean, we can keep naming the quarterbacks if we want to.
So I see Jeremiah in the chat. What's going on, Jeremiah? Thanks for joining the show. We are live here at Bourbon Street, 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park. There's plenty of people out here throwing bags.
There's some serious bags going on. There's some steely-eyed here. You're an ex-Marine. Like, there's the 2,000-yard stare going on.
These guys are for real.
They didn't even answer.
You're like, hey, guys, you guys ready? They're like, yeah, throw the bag. Like, okay, cool. But no, they've got some great shooters here. We are with Southside Bags. Some great shooters down. Come on down to Bourbon Street. Come see us. It's $20 a play. It is a blind draw partner. You get whatever partner the computer decides you get, and you go for it. Sometimes you get a pro. Sometimes you get me. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yes.
So we got some more chat going on. We got Jeremiah says, how about we get an offensive lineman without back problems?
That'd be nice. I mean, you got Gabe Karimi, Chris Williams. Right before that, both guys basically never really played.
Right.
Before that, who was the guy that went to Dallas? I can't remember the name. But anyway, he played good in Dallas, but didn't play shit for us.
And that's, look at even lately. You've got Tevin Jenkins. You've got Tevin Jenkins. You've got the kid that we just got from Vegas. With the kid that I was all hyped up for. I forget name. Yeah, so you got Alex Leatherwood out there. And I mean, you're right, Jeremiah. Look, we could go for an offensive lineman without back problems, but again, we can address that in free agency. In the draft, I'm telling you right now, if you don't go out and get Quentin Johnston, you're going to end up with Quentin Johnston on the Green Bay Packers or on the Detroit Lions, watching their franchise quarterbacks throw to this guy, beating our asses every Sunday because we didn't go out and get Quentin Johnston. If they do not get Quentin Johnston, we're going to revisit this in about a year, and we're going to have that conversation. Damn, you were right, Combsy. You were right. We should have drafted Quentin Johnston. I guarantee it.
If they can trade down on some bad team that has a good left tackle, I don't mind that. I mean, does Jeremiah know of a left tackle out there on the Seattle Seahawks or whoever the hell on the Colts, whatever, whoever wants to trade him? If they do that and then still get Quentin Johnson, are you happy with that? Well, your obsession.
If they end up with Quentin Johnson, I don't care. If they pick Quentin Johnson number 1 overall, I would be happy with that. Because would you rather have a GM that goes out and gets his guy, no matter where it's at, balls to pick his guy? Or would you rather have a GM like we just had, who's going to trade away everything and get pleased to go get Mr. Trubisky?
No.
I mean, what are you going to get?
I think this is 100% a trade scenario. There's no way they're not trading down. Hey, Bill?
No, actually down.
They're trading down.
They're trading down in the draft. I guarantee it.
The best drafting I've ever seen them do was coming in this year. Like going in with nothing and coming out with everything they got.
Do you have a comment?
I mean, Velus Jones?
I mean, it's like quantity-wise.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Whisker, Gordon.
I get it, but what we don't have is a wide receiver that is 6'6", 215 with great hands and breakaway speed, and Quentin Johnston is sitting there for the taking.
O-line.
And waiting for it. You can go O-line, but you can go O-line. You can go O-line in free agency.
Yeah.
You got Orlando Brown is going to be a free agent. You've got the kid from San Francisco we were talking about this week, McGlinchey. Is a free agent.
You got the Bucks as well. From the Irish.
Yeah. You've got a bunch of guys. You got a bunch of O-linemen that are available in free agency. You can address O-line. You can address D-line. You can address safety. You can address all that in free agency with $160 million in salary cap. What you can address in free agency is a 6'6", 215 wide receiver with great hands and breakaway speed. And that's where you have to get Quentin Johnson. You have to.
easy.
Yeah, you can't argue against it. Yeah, I got like a dressing line. I don't care how it gets done.
Like we said, we're going to know because free agency happens before the draft.
Absolutely. You're going to know the Bears' plan by draft day. So we're going to know, and you're going to hear me. If they go, if I end up in anything short of DeAndre Hopkins, if you're telling me that the Bears went out and they went and got Juju Smith-Schuster to be our number one, Devontae Adams is staying in Vegas. He's bringing their quarterback with him. He's staying there. Aaron Rodgers is going to Vegas. He's finally going to be out of Green Bay. We don't need all that.
I don't believe anything the team says.
Beckham decided they're.
Oh, yeah, but Beckham's another guy. Like, he is not the number one wide receiver. We don't have a number one wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
We need a number one wide receiver. We need a guy like they have in Justin Jefferson up in Minnesota, or like they have in Miami with Jalen Waddle. We need that guy that we, on any down, when Justin Fields gets in trouble, can break away, and Justin Fields can throw it up and have the confidence that this guy's going to catch it, other than Dante Pettis dropping balls that are thrown to him on a dime, that Equinemius St. Brown, who they just signed to a one-year deal to be a special teams guy. We don't need all what we need is the number one guy. You're not going to find that in free agency. You might find it through a trade. If you go out to Arizona and you go out and you can get Hopkins. You can get DeAndre Hopkins through Arizona. You do that in a trade. Sure, do whatever you want in the draft. But short of that, you've got to go get Quentin Johnson. Did you watch his game? Did you watch the college football playoff game where Quentin Johnson ran a slant route, caught the ball with the defender 5 feet away from him, and broke his leg and receiver? There's only a handful in the NFL.
And the way he outran the secondary, too.
Yes.
There was ahead of him by like 10 or 15 yards.
110%.
Or even more yards. They had no chance. It's so long. It's so long. It's like some huge record. I agree with my cousin Bill, who's standing right here. These are comments. They need offensive line. They never drafted high on the offensive line for a guy who doesn't have a bad back, or this high for an offensive lineman who's actually good. Or when got in free agency, if they get him in free agency, then fine. Then I'll come back to him. And if they get a defensive tackle or an edge rusher in free agency, I'll come back to him.
You get the number one guy, too. You got to get play calling that helps him out, too, though. Like, you can't go draft a guy and not help him out play calling.
So Jeremiah puts up a good point. They have the Lions have their pick and they have the Rams pick in the first round. They're probably going to go get a quarterback. I would assume, right? Because you're not putting all your stock in Jared Goff, are you? So if they go out and get a quarterback and you don't take Quentin Johnson, you're going to watch Quentin Johnson in Detroit for the next couple of years. Like we've watched Calvin Johnson for all them years tear us up. Like we've watched Devontae Adams for all these years tear us up in Green Bay, who we passed on as well. When you're looking at Justin Jefferson, who we passed on as well, sitting there tearing you up week after week when you are playing your divisional games and they are tearing you up and helping them win a division.
Wait a second, Coach. We have a Detroit Lions fan on the show last week who said that Calvin Johnson wasn't good.
Calvin Johnson, by the numbers, when you look at it by the numbers, he was right. After Calvin Johnson retired, Matthew Stafford's numbers skyrocketed. I mean, it was insane.
And they didn't have a team to do it. And we had to wait too much.
But Calvin Johnson had hands like I've never seen. Calvin Johnson was a freak of nature. I don't think Calvin Johnson was overrated by any stretch of imagination, but I think Calvin Johnson was.
I think you had a Matthew Stafford problem.
Matthew Stafford left the Lions and won the Super Bowl the year after.
I think you have 11 guys on the team around. You don't have the whole team that support guys like that either. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, Bill said if you don't have a team behind you, that's a problem. Matthew Stafford 4 or 5 years, like, let's go back in time. No one was sure about Matthew Stafford 4 or 5 years into his career. No one was. He didn't have the yardage, but he also made a bunch of mistakes, made bad decisions. He was not a great quarterback. He was not in the top 5. He was in the top 10.
Matthew Stafford is probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks in this generation.
I can say that.
No, I said that 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago, he's been in the league for 15 years.
He's been in the league for 15 years, but I was saying the whole time he was underrated.
4 or 5 years.
How much is ball Stafford? Bad team. How much can he do on a business team?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he can't do much of it.
That's what I mean.
Honestly, we talk about Matthew Stafford can't do good on a baseball team. Well, neither can Justin Fields. No quarterback.
Yes.
That's what we were talking to the guy from Detroit last week about. I said, oh, we need to build a team around Justin Fields. We need to build a team around any of these guys.
Yeah.
Look at Brady. You have to build a team around him. Brady can do jack squat.
I think we're finally moving in the right direction. Find an idea instead of scrap it and now we're rebuilding. Scrap it, now we're rebuilding. Scrap it, now we're rebuilding. Now it's like we rebuilt and this is the team we're building off of.
Drew says the Lions have so much money tied up in golf, they have no choice but to invest in it. Now, see, the Lions can get away from Jared Goff. I don't know what his cap hit is, but I believe it's something like $23 million. If they wanted to get away from him, they could get away from him. I mean, would you pay? I'd pay $23 million for Jared Goff to go home.
Yeah, but that's going to be a cap thing. That's why I think they're probably going to. I mean, I think they're going to get
Yeah, how many people sold their stuff?
Yeah, but you got that kid coming out of they're talking. He's maybe the second best player in the draft. And I don't know necessarily if Detroit goes quarterback. I do know that they'll probably go with weapons at wide receiver. I think that they'll probably go with weapons at running back. They might even go offensive line. They might go defensive. At any rate, if you don't go with either Quentin Johnson or even the kid out of Alabama in Jigba, if you don't go with those two wide receivers, you're going to regret it come next season. You need to go get Justin Fields, a number one weapon, so that when he's scrambling and breaking 10 sacks in a single play, he's got at least one wide receiver that can find a way to get over.
That's still not going to I still think they need an offensive line. I think it's evident over the last 4 games that this guy is under pressure. It doesn't matter if you have, Justin Jefferson, you can have Devontae Adams, you can have anybody out there. If the guy has 170 to throw the ball, if he's getting a tackle thrown into the snap, it's not going to matter if anybody. You're going to have Jerry Rice out there. And yes, that's a Jerry Rice reference.
All right.
Everybody remembers who Jerry Rice is.
Before we start throwing hands on live TV on YouTube,
if you don't know who Jerry Rice is, I'm stop it.
Jill says if you don't know who Jerry Rice is, you should probably get off the screen right now. So we've got a couple things going on in the baseball world, right? So the Cubs went out, and the Cubs got Eric Hosmer at first base. I think is a very underrated move. I know a lot of Cubs fans don't like it. They start talking about his OPS has been dipping. You got to remember, Cubs fans, that you're going into a season where the shift is being banned. He's a left-handed hitter. Not only that, but you get him for $720,000 over the next 3 years because San Diego is still paying the majority of that contract that they're on the hook for. You get this guy for nothing. If he works out, great. If he doesn't, whatever. You pay $720,000.
Minor league. It's a 4 or 5 minor league. I think I messaged you the other day. His OPS is way down. He's not going to be, he might not be a star, but he is a left-handed man. And if it works out, it's great. If it doesn't, who cares? You can DFA him. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like overly critical about this. I don't think he's going to be good. His OPS has slipped down. Some baseball players, he just hasn't been that good. He hasn't been good since 2019, and Dallas Keuchel was good.
Look, I think you're downplaying it because the White Sox didn't go somewhere. I think you're still butthurt that Jose Abreu is in Houston, and he's not playing first base for you. You're butthurt because the Cubs got a first baseman, and the White Sox still have him.
I don't know if it's that. Well, it's worse that he left. But it's that Houston got him. As I said on the show before, the Houston Astros are the Detroit Pistons of the 90s for me. right now because I hate the Houston Astros. But they do know sports science. They know what players to get. They knew this guy was still going to be good at 35 games. And they pick him up. They give him 3 years. Great deal. Over $60 million. Like, they did that for a reason. They know that they're going to wrestle this guy. And eventually they're going to cash in. Which really pisses me off because the Sox didn't cash in because they have Nosferatu as a goddamn manager for 2 years. The worst decision ever. Who walks a guy at 1-2 counts?
Twice.
And then goes in front of the media.
How do you not walk in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, not walking in the playoffs this year. That's right. Bill just said
With this roster, this team, the White Sox should be a lot better than what they are. But with the Cubs adding Eric Hosmer to this roster, I have them at 83 wins prior to Eric Hosmer. Now my coworker Charles went to the extreme and said 95 now. I told him the next time he comes into work baked, I had to let him go. But I am not of the mindset that they are now a 95 win team. I think maybe 84 or 85 wins with the lineup, what Eric Hosmer brings. I'm still shaky at third base. I know we're going to have Chris Morrell playing third base. If the kid can turn it around, if he could be the first half player he was last year for an entire season, we've got something.
Look, if he gives you 100 games and bats 2-3, plays a good first base, hits 10 to 15 home runs, you're fine with that.
Yeah.
You really are. You're not going to ask too much of this guy. If he does it, get him out of there. Get him out of first baseman, even the minor leagues. Somebody you pick up if you pick up a trade.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. We need some 4 or 5 minor leagues.
So, as a Sox fan of the remaining free agents that are out there, who are you looking for the White Sox to go after?
I think Elvis should be in the building. Not Elvis be out of the building. I think they should pick up Elvis Andrews. I think it's a...
Someone order a cheddar burger.
It still hasn't been picked up.
If you do not play your
He's
cheddar,
a
I will
solid
be
shortstop. He hasn't played a lot at second.
It's my baby.
We got a cheddar burger, and Johnny said that if nobody takes it, so you say Elvis Andrews. Are you done with Josh Harrison?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think Josh Harrison. That's hard to say, but I don't think Josh Harrison was the key there. I think Elvis Andrews is obviously a lot better than Josh Harrison. I can say that. Josh Harrison is an okay player. He's about, replacement level, maybe a little bit over replacement level. Has a lot of excitement, can run, can hit someone, but I don't think he's your answer at second base. I'd rather take with Romy Gonzalez and Sosa, who were second base rookies, basically.
You want to welcome first entry here, Jeremy Larson. Join us from
Well, Elvis Andrews, I'll take over both of them, and then if Elvis Andrews gets hurt, or the Mark Harper injury, slides over, plays 20 games there, I'm going to see what Lania Sosa or Romy Gonzalez have. We're not going to do that. I can't have 2 or 3 rookies playing in a championship lineup unless they are 100% rookies, unless they're Frank Thomas.
Are you set at first base?
Robin Ventura isn't walking into this building.
Are you set at first base?
I'm set at first base.
You just so Trey Mancini doesn't float the boat a little
Trey
bit?
Mancini doesn't float my boat.
You don't want Eloy back in right field? You don't want 9 first basemen playing right field?
I mean, you just pigeonholing me.
We got Mr. Sutton.
Of a guy who had cancer. You're trying to, yes.
Digging just a little bit deeper.
And I'm going to get out on a limb here. I'm against cancer. I'm against it. I'm totally against it. But anyway, no, I think Andrew Vaughn's going to be great in first base. I really plays a great, solid first base. Plus, he's a solid. Plus, my cousin Bill likes Andrew.
So again, we are live in Bourbon Street. We are here with Southside Bags. It is their weekly blind draw tournament. We are going to be later on. We are going to be televising a couple of the matches that they're going to have. We're going to be calling some play-by-play. Myself and Johnny Torres will be doing some play-by-play for the King of the Hill match. So stay tuned for that when we come back live. You guys join us, watch some good bags. They got some amazing throwers, man. I'm talking about 4-baggers like it's nothing. We've got all sorts of people here. I see my buddy Billy's over here. My wife Michelle's over here. We got our buddy Mikey over here. We got your cousin Bill. We got your dad over here.
My brother Joe just walked in.
Oh, better late than never, Joe.
Right. We're about the highest team the Bourbon, Rob the first guy. He's the second highest paid guy ever got inspired right now.
How about you guys take the ball boy from the Cubs to play second base? That kid snacks everything. That kid catches everything over there on the left field line. You don't want the ball boy from the Cubs?
I don't want the ball boy from the Cubs, but that's how second base and right field has been for the Sox the last 3 damn years.
He was at all 82 home games, which you can't say for Tim Anderson.
If I see Tim Anderson, you would have fired James B. Swanson, which I still think is a made-up name. Prior to James B. Swanson, you take Tim Anderson any day of the year.
I would still take Tim Anderson any day. I love Tim Anderson. I say it all the time. I would watch. Actually, I own 3 White Sox jerseys. All 3 of them are Tim Anderson jerseys because I love the way the kid plays ball. I really do. And there's nothing against. Look, I say it all the time. I am not a Cubs fan that hates the White Sox, right? So I can actually say, look, I had a lot of respect for a lot of players that were White Sox players coming in.
Well,
Tim Anderson.
There's a question. Would you have rather the Cubs get Jose Abreu or Eric Hosmer?
Oh, Jose Abreu. 100 times out of 100.
I'm saying, if you're looking at what we're going to spend in the future, I mean, you wanted them to get Jose Abreu. I don't know if he would have gone to the Cubs. Although
I think he would have. It's just like somebody said to me about Devers, about Rafael Devers. They say, oh, I thought he didn't want to be in Boston. I said, look, let me ask you a question. If I had to send you anywhere in the world for 11 years, but I gave you $331 million, would you not go? I mean, yeah. Devers wanted to be paid. He didn't care where he was going to play, whether it was Boston, whether it was Chicago, you could have sent him in the depths of hell. For $331 million, he was going to play wherever you wanted him to play.
That is, thank you, Grandpa, for the land.
Yeah.
Thank you, great Grandpa, for the land.
And that's Shane Bloom saying, look, I can't do this. I'm going to lose my job if I do. And $331 million, I didn't think it was going to happen. Like we talked about on Sunday, they were in different galaxies on their contracts. They were in a whole new world with what one side wanted and what the other side was going to give. And then at some point, they're like, look, you do it. And I knew as soon as they said that he signed the 1-year deal to avoid arbitration, I was like, oh, they're going to sign him. They're going to sign him long term. And that's fine. Look, Rafael Devers, he would have looked great on the north side of Chicago, and that would have been a hell of a team with Rafael Devers. But good for him.
I mean, a third baseman who get hit by teams. I mean, even Okada, he had about as bad a year you could have after having 1 exceptional year and 2 above average, very good years. I mean, Okada could even trade for some players right now because he hits lefty at third base.
Yeah.
That's a guy who can build a team.
We got Jeremiah in the chat says, Luis Roberts' form has never been anything but injured so far. Jeremiah also says, if there's any washed up power hitters on the market, the White Sox are looking.
You're right. We talked about the Albert Bell deal last week, I think. But he wasn't washed up at the time. He was more crazy than washed up. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Reese Robert has been hurt. But that happens a lot at the beginning of years, doesn't it? These guys got to figure out how
I would have dragged it in.
You're talking to players.
I'm talking to players while they go, hey, I saw him in 3. He had one sitting at the hole. He watched. I would have dragged it in. No, I probably would have dragged the coat off the chair.
I just want to say this. Before the broadcast, I put 2 in the hole, 1 on. I think I went 1 on and nothing else.
No, I had one in. Nice try. It was my first throw, and the board was crooked.
I'm going to ask her. But anyway.
Hey, Michelle, would you give him a ride home later? He's drunk. Look, I don't know what the White Sox do.
I agree with Jeremiah. Yes, it's better. It's obvious to say. But that happens with a lot of players, honestly. It does, especially when they have to learn how to play 162 games a year. It's not easy. I mean, we just talked about Andrew Vaughn. Look at his numbers after the All-Star. They're not going to talk about it all the time. I have to get my body into position to be able to play 162 games. That is not easy to do.
No, it's not easy to do. But
That's why it's not sport.
you've got some players out there who are getting big money that are hurt less than Tim Anderson, that are hurt less than Eloy Jimenez, that are hurt less than Luis Robert. Like, I don't know what it is with the White Sox training staff, but they can't keep their guys up, and that's a problem. Like, I don't want to see these guys here. I want to see good baseball in Chicago. And to be honest with you, the last 2 or 3 years, I'm not getting that on the north side, so I have to see it on the south side.
Yeah, that is isn't that the last piece of sports science for sports? It's figuring out the physiological structure of players to say, this guy's more prone to this injury, this is what we're going to do, this guy's more prone. You know they're doing it and they're not telling anybody what it is. But you know that they're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into the science to figure out, why is this guy hurt? How can we make it not get hurt? What does he have to do to not get hurt? That's the last part. And
We got no Jackson.
and for the Sox, I think what could happen this year, which happens to a lot of sports teams, is that they're going to come back. They're going to come back to that mean of average and not have some injuries. And hopefully, or by July, your neck is going to be twice the size. It's not going to be choking and laughing. And saying, I told you.
But see, that's the thing. I won't be laughing at you because I want to see the White Sox succeed. I want to see the Cubs succeed. I would love nothing more. The only time we might ever actually physically get involved over Cubs and White Sox is if we're playing a 7-game series in October. Yes. Because, look, I got to tell you right now, I don't go to Cubs White Sox because fans are stupid. Yes. I wouldn't go to a Cubs White Sox World Series game either. Because I don't know what would happen.
Even though I think that baseball is the best sport to watch live in person.
Yeah.
Because you can be in the upper deck and know exactly what's going on in a baseball game. You're at a football game, unless you're on the 50-yard line, it's like, did he run 12 yards or did he lose 3? You really don't know what's going on. In a boxing match, if you're in those pieces or even close to you, don't know what's going on. If they're not facing you, what's going on. If you're at a hockey game, hockey's a little good. Hockey's one of those things that's really good luck. But sometimes even when you're high up, you can see it. It's like that.
First of all, I don't know why anybody would go to a boxing match. It's the worst sport in the world.
Well, this is what it is. It's celebrities. To see celebrities and celebrities like you go there to say, I'm freaking David.
To say, hey, I watched this guy take a dive against one of the brothers, the YouTube brothers.
Oh, yes.
God, it kills me.
I love boxing. I grew up on boxing.
See, I'm a UFC
Yeah,
guy.
not far from here. We used to watch boxing all the time. I watched Tyson get knocked out. That's how old I am. I watched Tyson get knocked out by Buster Douglas. My brother John woke me up screaming.
Tyson is one of those guys who, ever since he loved the sport, it's the reverse Tiger Woods, right? Because at least when Tiger Woods left golf, there's somebody there to take his place.
Oh, come on, no.
Lefty. What are you talking about? You know,
The heavyweight division was still good. You still had the Baron Holyfield. You still had Lennox Lewis.
Evander Holyfield had half a year when Mother was sold for Tyson left.
Yeah, but no, he beat the crap out of Tyson. That was actually a pretty good fight. He totally dismantled him. It's when the Klitschko's came in, and they were so big and so tall and so methodical. They kind of, and it's, they, you know, they had such good success, and it actually hurt them because they were so much better than everybody else. Now the heavyweight division is okay, it's sort of breaking up again. But you had Anthony Jetman. I didn't know.
Very quickly, quick roll call. Make sure I understand one here. We got Chris Noble.
We can relitigate the Boston Buckets. Because Vicentino was not out.
Jesse Martinez.
I don't think you can
Stop for 15
relitigate.
seconds.
I'm not sure we can relitigate that one. There's a lot of things we can relitigate.
Still have fights like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Just one of the best heavyweight fights you'll ever see. It just happened.
Either one of those guys that can even touch Tyson.
Oh, yes. I don't know about Deontay Wilder, but Tyson Fury.
I think Tyson Fury would have got hit once by Tyson.
Tyson was such a good boxer. He like Deontay Wilder, there's not a lot of guys who have better skills than him. But he just started boxing when he was
Please let me know as soon as possible.
people were getting called off.
We're getting ready to start some bags here, and we're going to play some bags. So we're going to get out of here. Guys, it has been a wonderful night. We are on our first ever, on location here at 115 Bourbon Street. Here, let me get up here and put on here so you guys can see where we're set up. We can kind of see here. We got Bourbon Street. We got the bags going. I'm going to be a little cameraman here. We got the other bags. People are all over the place looking at us. We're watching our mics over there, sitting with other friends. We got things going all over the place here.
We're on the south side. It's south side, and we're not in the garage. We're happy to be alive.
We are in one of the biggest sports bars in Chicago. I think it's actually the biggest sports bar in Chicago. And we are having a blast here. So we're going to go play some bags. We're going to register. Make sure you guys check us out here in about 30 minutes or so. We're going to be back on. We're going to be televising some of these live matches. And we'll be doing some play-by-play for the King of the Hill match and for the championship match. So you guys join us. Thank you guys for joining the show. Thanks for being a part of it. We love you guys. Man Hour Nation, rise up. Thank you for joining. In the broadcast.